Hi mamas, it's Johanna here again on the 411 Mamas, and I'm sorry I'm doing such a late and simple upload. I'm actually just doing this on my webcam off my laptop. I had planned a different video, but my day kind of got away from me, and I'm just now able to sit down and make this video for you guys. I wanted to make sure not to miss the day. So I figured I would do a discussion video today. I've never done one before, so I thought it would be kind of cool. And I just want to talk a little bit about parenting style. Parenting, if I can talk, sorry. I'm getting the call. Um, Parenting styles. I guess I'm what a lot of people would call an attachment parenting kind of parent, I guess. Um, we co-slept in terms of my son was in his bassinet right next to me for the first 6 months. And after that, I transitioned into his crib, not because it was a problem here. He just didn't seem so comfortable anymore sleeping on, in the bassinet portion. And I don't know why I felt like the bottom portion of the playpen was too low at the time. I don't know. It just seemed better to just transition him into his room, which is right next to ours, in his crib. So we did do that around 6 months. Um, Bed sharing was very difficult for me. He had a tendency to completely want to be closer and closer, and I would constantly be afraid that I was gonna kind of smush him, so I would end up moving more further and further to the edge of the bed and being very stiff. I was waking up with really bad back and neck pain. Um, and Anthony is sometimes kind of like an aggressive sleeper. He'll just jolt or do like a sudden movement, so that would make me nervous. So I would sleep like with my arms up, like covering the baby all the time, which really made my sleeping situation even more tense. So that didn't work out too well for me personally. I don't particularly think there's anything wrong with bed sharing if it works for you. It just didn't work for me. We did it when he had, bad nights. When if he was teething or if he was just having days where he wanted just um, a lot of contact and snuggles. I never denied him that, but for a everyday thing, it was just a little bit too much for me. So sometimes actually what I would do is go out in the living room. We have a big recliner, so that way I can, kind of lay a little bit more comfortably, have him sleeping on my chest and not be nervous about him really getting hurt or anything like that. So that worked well for us. We didn't really do the whole cry it out thing. Um, I know it works well for some people that have done it. I personally just didn't feel right doing it, especially when they're so little. Like right now, he's a year old. I'll let him cry. Excuse me. I will let him cry for a little bit, see if he falls back to sleep, see if it's just, kind of just fussing, fighting his sleep a little bit. But even still, and again, when he was little, I just didn't feel right. I felt like if he was crying because he wanted to have, cuddles with mom or just needed that to feel that contact and that love, I just didn't feel right. Um, Denying him of that, um, I don't know. I think it's a very personal decision, and I don't knock anybody that does cry it out. But like I said, for me, it just doesn't fit when they're so little. I just think that they need that warmth and they need that contact. Um, and it is a sacrifice, and it is hard. Your sleep does diminish, but I think that's just something that comes along with being a mom, and it usually is temporary. Um, and I also feel like if a baby needs that and you kind of fight it, it it'll make him cry even more. Like it just never worked for us. Even if I would cry for like 5 minutes, I don't think I made it for 5 minutes because it was gut wrenching to me to hear him crying and knowing that all he wanted was to feel my warmth. And honestly, a lot of times I would just sit with him um, until he fell deeply asleep, and I would put him in his crib, and it was fine. Maybe we were just lucky. He's my first, so I don't have a point of reference personally. But that really worked well for us. He started sleeping through the night at like 3 months, and then around 6 months, he kind of regressed a little bit, and he was, waking up again a little bit more. So I just, kind of did the same thing. It was rough, but I think it's worth it. It was like that for a couple of months. By the time he was 8 or 9 months at the latest, he was sleeping through the night again. So it hasn't really been a big deal. And even now, occasionally he'll have a nightmare or something, like it will wake him up and he'll cry. I'll go in there 5, 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes. He gets his cuddle, he gets the warmth. I think he gets that feeling of security back, and he's asleep. I put him in his crib, and we're good to go. Um, I am breastfeeding still, and that was a challenge. The first month of breastfeeding for us was literally torture. Um, Guys, definitely, that's a whole other video, to be honest, the whole breastfeeding experience, getting it down. But I'm so glad that I put the work that I did into it, and that I kind of had patience with him and with myself. Neither one of us knew what we were doing. We had a hard time. We had um, things like, sorry if this is TMI, but I have flat nipples. So I kind of feel like with things like that, we kind of had the odds against us. Um, and I would just constantly remind myself of that when I got really frustrated, or the times where I thought the pain was unbearable. I would make the decision not to make a decision about breastfeeding at that moment, that I was in pain or completely sleep deprived and just feeling horrible. I wouldn't make a decision on it, and I would tell him and tell myself that, we're learning this together, we're gonna get through it, and I'm so glad that we did, because I think that breastfeeding is such a wonderful thing. Um, for your child, for you, for the bond of mom and baby. I think it's the most amazing thing. It makes me feel good because I feel like I'm providing my son with the best that I possibly can. Um, so I really can't say enough good things about breastfeeding, as hard as it was. Um, it's totally worth it. And we still have our little things, you go through phases right now where when he's teething, he bites. It's not pleasant. You try to work through it. It's usually a phase. I guess unfortunately with um, the biting and the teething, it's continuous. It's not like a one-time thing. It's going to happen a couple of times because, they teeth. He's got 7 teeth right now. 4 on the top, 3 on the bottom. So we're still waiting for a fourth one on the bottom, and then all the rest to come in. So just patience, patience, patience. I think is key, or was key for me with breastfeeding. I also did like baby-led weaning. I don't know if you ladies have heard of it, but when I started giving him solids at 6 months, I would actually give him little pieces. Um, Instead of giving him everything pureed, I would, give him little bite-sized pieces. And obviously, you have to be vigilant, watch what they're eating and all that stuff. And I know it makes a lot of people nervous because they're afraid the baby's going to choke. From all the research that I did and from my experience with my son, I found the research that I had read to be true, that babies have their gag reflex is um, further up their mouth, not so close to their throat. And a lot of times what people perceive as choking is really just their gag reflex from like the middle of their mouth type of thing coming into effect. Choking is actually when, they can't breathe, there's a cutoff to air supply, but that's what's beneficial about their gag reflex being so um, close to the opening of their mouth. So we did baby-led weaning, and it was a lot of fun to watch him explore food, learn how to chew, all that kind of stuff was just really, really cool. I tried not to give him too much pre-made like canned Gerber. What we did give him was beech nut. I tried to make the applesauce a few times, which was nice. We were also doing cloth diapering, which I'm kind of upset about that I'm not doing right now. And the reason I'm not doing it is because our washer broke and we were given a used one because we couldn't afford to buy another one. So I think the new one, or not I think, I know the new one wouldn't wring them out properly. So I think it left some residual, and no matter how many times I stripped them, um, after they would smell fine after I washed them and dried them, but the minute he like put them on and peed once, it would smell. So I've been using disposables, unfortunately. I'm really not happy about it. I loved my cloth diapers. So, and actually this weekend, the washer we were given just broke, so now we're gonna have to figure something out. Um, yeah, we're gonna have to figure something out. But we're doing disposables for now. I'm hoping that'll change once we get a new washer. Um, God, food-wise, I mean, he eats everything. He still nurses 3 to 4 times a day, but he eats regular food. I do buy everything, almost everything, like meats and chickens without antibiotics. I buy fruits and vegetables, um, organic, because of the pesticides. I don't buy corn anymore because of it being genetically modified. I make my own spaghetti saucers. I love pasta. The big downfall for me, what I do, I absolutely love pasta. Um, but I try not to eat at like processed things. I don't really do canned anything. I really try not to. Lentils, any types of beans, I do them dry. I cook them on the day that I have, a couple of hours to just leave it on the stove and cook so that they get soft, or I put them in the crock pot, or leave them overnight in water so that they're ready to be cooked the next day. Like I said, I make my own pasta sauces. We don't do TV dinners. We don't do any of that stuff on a regular basis. On occasion, Anthony will want like corned beef and hash or whatever it's called, and so we'll get that. But that's really not the norm for us. Um, I do try to, I do try to give him lots of fruits and veggies. He loves his fruit. I try to do lots of outdoorsy things with him, and I guess, I don't know, I think that's kind of more of my parenting style. I try to be very natural. I try to, in a sense, let him lead the way in terms of his development and what he's ready for. Certain things I think you can Sorry, I don't know what happened there. I think certain things you can um kind of lead them towards, lead them towards, but until they're ready, they're not gonna do it. Um, I believe that with the sleeping, with the walking, with the eating, with all those kinds of things, to me, you kind of have to see where they're at. No baby is the same. Yeah, I try to do things very naturally and very holistically. I think my son and I, as a result of all of it, have a very nice bond. I don't know. It's amazing. I can't even find the words for it, but um, I'm definitely I definitely have an attachment to my son. I love spending time with him, and not to say that there aren't days or moments where I just kind of need 5 minutes to myself because I am a human being, and sometimes you just need that. But overall, I like being there. I like being there when he needs me. I like being there when he's laughing, when he's discovering something new. Um, all those kinds of things. They're the most fulfilling um, thing ever to me, and I just feel extremely blessed and happy that I'm able to be here and enjoy all those things with him and watching him grow. And it really is absolutely priceless and the most rewarding thing um, in the world. So I was going to try to keep this short, but I think it got a little long. I hope you ladies are all doing well, and please give me your thoughts on your parenting styles and maybe things that work a little bit different for you. Also, if you have any questions, please post them down below, and I will answer them. And if this video was helpful at all, or if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook and check out my personal page as well here on YouTube and on Facebook. I will leave all the links below. Bye, ladies. Have a good night.